from the past that you couldn't before the arrival of the internet. The second one is, and this is less likely for faculty, but to anticipate so I can skip the next slide, it's much more true for graduate students, the library could say no. Faculty requests are rather uniformly said, bought. My faculty send me a request, I buy it. On the other hand, the poor graduate student fills out the form, puts it in the box, waits and waits and waits, and comes back with the little note that says, we're sorry, this book looks interesting, but we're not going to buy it for you. And so this is the reason why I think graduate students, and I've had people tell me this that I've talked to, that their graduate students buy their own books because they don't think the library will actually purchase them. So this factor really is less for faculty, but it's important for graduate students. The third one is that they've got a Nook or they've got a Kindle, and they want the ebook in a proprietary format. The Amazon agreement, when you purchase the materials, as of last week when I actually saw it, is that you can't lend Kindles. Libraries are lending Kindles, but it is indeed against the agreement that they agreed to when they bought the Kindle. So, and it's also, what?
I was surprised you can't do that.
You can't do that, technically. People are doing it. One university, Brigham Young University, actually started the project. They talked to Amazon. Amazon said, okay. Their lawyers came and said, we got to have it in writing from Amazon. And Amazon said, we'll talk to you, but we won't put it in writing. Plus, it's very difficult to manage the Kindle book because you download it to the Kindle, and it's on that Kindle, and you can't transfer it. And so I still haven't completely wrapped my head around how libraries would use Kindles. I did ask this question from somebody at my talk, and she said they basically do the books of the month. So they have a Kindle that has the books that are popular in November 11, and then they'll have a December 11 Kindle. But you can't move them around. So it's not, it's kind of like if you glued the books together in the stacks, and to take one of them out, you had to take all of them out. So that's a problem with the Kindle. The other thing, why might they buy their own books? They get them faster. It's real simple. All of the places selling books on the web want to make this an easy, slippery slope. And so the Amazon, I know Amazon the best. I also know Have.com. Amazon has something called one-click ordering. You click. If you order enough, you get free shipping. It comes a few days later. Even the free shipping is amazingly fast. You will have that book in your hands, in almost all cases, in less than a week. And that is fast. So you want the book, you pay for it yourself, you get it quickly. The other one is you get to keep it forever. Now, I know that faculty get wonderful loan privileges here. Except every third loan, you have to bring it back physically to make sure that you still have it. And you can throw eggs at me because I was actually one of the people involved in making that decision in the early 90s. But it comes in, and they don't have to worry about circulation. They don't have to worry about getting the email. Your books are due, please renew, and these 3 you have to bring in. So you get to keep it forever. And they can mark them up without feeling guilty. Because I am quite aware that we have users, probably of all types, who actually do mark the library books up. And I will even go back to graduate school when I said this to one of my faculty members. He said, just go and do it. They won't really care. Nobody else will ever use this book. So that they can annotate them. If they want and there's any reason, they can tear the pages out. Let's say you had some reason that you wanted to take a page with. So you own them, you can do whatever you want. And then finally, you can potentially resell them back on the internet market. My favorite story of this is I had a student who said she took a class, bought the textbook on Amazon, and made a $25 profit at the end of the semester. So she was a very pleased student from having made a profit. Or, worst comes to worst, you donate them to the library, and you get a very nice tax benefit. And if you're in the highest bracket, it's worth about 30% of what the retail value is a tax donation if you itemize. I occasionally in the past have given talks to faculty that said you will get more cash in your pocket from the donation than you will selling them to a book dealer. And I will still stand by that. And finally, it may not even be their money. This is one of the new things I added from the conference last week, because somebody said that at their university they had checked how much money was spent on books outside of the library, and it was more than was spent on books inside the library. And so that the faculty member may have purchased it with grant funding, or may have purchased it with departmental funding. So I don't know how often this happens, but it's a new area that I think that Paul and I need to investigate, so that it's not even the faculty's money. Okay, where might faculty buy their books? Well, the first thing are the traditional resources. Even new books on Amazon with the discounts aren't necessarily that expensive. You might even go to the bookstore, but I really do think that with the way the market has evolved, the type of material faculty want would not be in the average book sale, which is now tending towards popular material, but it would be Amazon, Barnes & Noble, whatever. The second is the out-of-print book market, and that's the wrong term. I haven't said that. There are lots and lots of in-print books. There are lots and lots of brand new books. And in fact, there are lots of libraries that are buying books in the out-of-print book market of preference so that they can save money over buying a new copy from their traditional vendors. I went to a complete talk on this last Saturday, where they check first in the out-of-print book market if they can get a book in acceptable condition. And there's also a library within the Detroit metro area that does the same, so that it's not. And so you can actually even buy books in the out-of-print book market often before they're officially published. And does anybody want to guess what those copies are?
The reader copies?
They're review copies, yes. And so that the review copies are being offered for sale before the book has even been officially published. The e-book, they might want to buy it, as I said already, because of the proprietary format. So I want it for my Kindle, I want it for my Nook, I want it for whatever, and the library will most likely not buy it for my Kindle or my Nook, and I want it on my Kindle or my Nook. Okay, graduate students, I will just say that, as I already said, that the library is more likely to say no. I would go on record that if I were king of the world, I think that every new graduate student going to write a doctoral dissertation should get an allocation from the library to buy a certain number of books. That's my personal opinion. But all right, what might faculty still request from the library? Well, the first one is difficult to acquire materials. Amazon really has good scope, but they can be weak when you get in. Actually, they have extremely good scope, but you might discover that for foreign materials that they're not accessible on Amazon US, and if you want to buy them from one of the foreign book dealers, then your postage costs go up to about $13 a book, and so that's tied a bit to what I'm going to say next, is that at some point the materials become too expensive. The other thing is that it could be esoteric or gray literature. Do you all know what gray literature is? Okay. Gray literature is the term that is generally used for that type of material that is not available from the standard publishers. And so this would be, for example, committee reports. It could be white papers from various organizations. It could be deep studies. And so these things are often very important for faculty research. And I